Good morning, good afternoon, LinkedIn family and Facebook family and YouTube channel family. I've been so sporadic being on these platforms, and so I have to apologize. It's been a couple weeks for me. I had some. Most everyone knows this nowadays, Rachel, but I have MS, and I went more recently. I went through a bit of a relapse, and when that happens, I'm kind of disconnected, and I'm just doing the bare minimum, and so social media becomes one of my lesser priorities at that time. So I've been not present, and I've missed you guys, and so I thought, what better way to get back into social media? And someone said hi, Bob. There you go.
Mm.
Hi, LinkedIn user.
Oh, yes.
I don't know why you hide who you are, but that's okay. I get that. Thank you very much. So now I want to get back, and I thought, what a perfect way to get back with two of my favorite people, Rachel Beck. Hi, Rachel.
Hi,
And
Bob.
Dr.
Morning.
Irene Cop, who should be here shortly. She's probably overslept or something. I don't know.
We'll find out. And you know what, Bob? The most important thing is we never have to apologize for taking care of ourselves.
No,
And yeah,
I get that, but I just, I get, it always amazes me when I'm quiet on LinkedIn for
mhm.
anything more than a few days. I get all these people reaching out to me on DMs, which is wonderful. I love it. It still amazes me though, because you think, you have followers, right? You have a ton of followers, and I have a few. You always hope and imagine that you're actually making connections that way and that you're impacting other people, but you really don't know until you have a period of silence and people reach out to you and say, "Hey, what's going on?" Which is always awesome.
Because you're amazing, Bob, and
Yeah,
everybody
no,
loves
thank
you.
you. I appreciate that, and it really touches my heart. You reached out to me, Krista reached out to me, Dr. Irene, of course, reached out to me. I mean, that stuff like that it just warms the heart.
Yeah, I've been trying to teach people how much that this is a community and that we really are a family. And that, like for you and me, we've been friends for years. So, I mean, I try to tell people that importance of like building that relationship.
Hmm.
And
That's what
we're,
networking is all about,
yes, yeah. And like real relationships,
right?
like not, phony ones, not, opportunistic friendships, but real
Yeah.
relationships.
Well, and there are a few, not a few. There's quite a few on LinkedIn that they reach out to you with a sales pitch right away,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? They're not even asking or trying to connect with you. It's just they connect, sales pitch, sales pitch, sales pitch. And I think that what I love about your messages, Rach, is that you're constantly teaching people to build the relationship first, right?
Yeah, but I made mistakes. Like in the beginning, I totally made mistakes. And then I had people teach the way. And you and I both know, like through this pandemic, people are they're trying to feed their families. There's so many people who have, we know a lot of people. I know a lot of people have lost their jobs. So I'm trying to teach the way. But the thing is, LinkedIn has this massive learning curve.
Mhm.
And it's really, really hard. So I came up with the tips for success because people need to learn. If you don't, you can't fault somebody if they didn't learn it, right? It's like, well, but if you teach them then and
Mhm.
you've given them advice and they're making like, repeated mistakes, then there's nothing we can do about that. But we can definitely teach the way,
Yeah.
pass that knowledge forward.
Yeah. What's I always forget the saying, teach a man to fish and he feeds himself forever, right? And that's what you do on your posts, especially I love your Friday posts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, because it's just such useful, free information, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the thing about LinkedIn that I really love, at least amongst the people that I kibitz with, the people that I have relationships with. They're giving all this information, they're giving all this advice for nothing. You can get an education just in your LinkedIn feed if you
Yes.
connect with the right people.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's almost like a university, right? You can learn from the people. You can learn, and people just have to spend the time doing that. People are sharing their knowledge across this platform and teaching people how to do things and talking about incredible subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, they're like, well, I remember in the beginning of the pandemic, and you and I were talking like that first week because we were just like, oh my gosh. And people, I would constantly see you and I have worked from home. I've worked from home for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be that comment all the time, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. I'm like, how are people bored? You're like, even if you're home right now, you get on this platform. You can learn, they can jump into webinars, they can take classes. It's a constant chance for people to educate themselves on this platform.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much, and even if you don't have a premium account, premier
Yes.
account, or whatever, even if you have a free account, there's still tons of stuff that you can access. And what I like about, here's one of the things that I really love about you, Rachel. You're not a coach. You're not selling your consulting services. You are just who you're giving all this gold absolutely just because you like doing it. I mean, you and I aren't coaches. You and I aren't consultants. I have a day job. You're a
And
writer.
many jobs. Jobs I do all day.
Well, you're a writer,
Well, I'm like, I'm a writer. I produce my show every day. I'm a public speaker. And then I do a lot of other things, and it all falls under the umbrella of it. And then I'm trying very hard to help people get through these last 3 years, because it's just been, and for people to know, so many people feel they have a real fear of feeling abandoned, and so I'm trying to give them that consistency of not feeling that way, and letting them know that you and I are here when it's appropriate for us to be here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think more people need to understand that about this platform, right? I mean, yeah, it's a great platform if you're a coach or a consultant, or you have a great product to reach out to people. But I think your first priority shouldn't be to sell them on you. Your first priority should be to let people know who you are, establish connections with them, right? I mean, I've got like 40,000 followers. You've got almost 300,000 followers, and I've got almost 30,000 connections at this point. I think you're probably at your connection max at this point too. And it's not like we're having personal relationships with each and every one of them, but we're creating personal relationships on a massive scale because we are being who we are, and you are being who you are. I mean, anybody who watches one of your videos or watches one of your interviews can immediately connect to you because you're open, you're honest.
I don't sugarcoat anything.
You don't.
I believe in real conversations like you and I have all the time, like real conversations. And it's the only way we can take the world forward. And that's what you and I work on every day, is moving through positivity, through love and kindness, to move this world forward. You do it, you highlight people. I love your show. I mean, you're doing it too. We're both working very hard to shine a light on people. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, you have to. And I all right. So hold on. All right. So keep talking. I'm trying to
Bob, all right, here's a serious question. Is it New York pizza or Chicago pizza?
Chicago pizza all the way. Are you kidding?
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm New York, and I've been to Chicago many times, but I'm still.
You're a big New York pizza person?
Die hard. I grew up outside Philly. My parents are from New York. My grandparents live. Yeah. So.
I gotta open up. She's stuck on WhatsApp. She's having some connectivity issue. So I've got.
Maybe if you put it in, DM like you did.
Well, yeah, but if she wants me to send it to her on WhatsApp, so it's going to take me a second here to load up the desktop version.
All right, so
I love live shows, right? I mean,
so much happens. I had my interview that I showed last week. I had somebody knock on my door. So my dog was barking. There's not much you can do about it. This is real life. And I think I have to say, when the pandemic started, people became like way more understanding, compassionate towards that, because we're like, oh my gosh, this is what it would be like to work from home. Like banging on the door, like someone's cutting the grass outside right now. I mean, this is real life. So, I mean, that's how it goes. And I have to say, people don't need the videos to be perfect anymore. They don't need the lives to be perfect anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and shoot, I was just gonna say something now, and I forgot. Hang on. So let's send her the link again.
Okay. All right. So here's another fun question while you're doing that. Are you a DC fan or a Marvel fan?
Oh, I'm a big Marvel fan.
Big Marvel fan? Yeah.
You can't see, but you can't see behind me right now because I'm trying to block it with my body just to uh
Do you mind back there?
yeah, there's probably several thousand Marvel comic books behind me.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're a huge Marvel fan. That answers the question. I like them both. I love them both. Like I love Marvel and DC. I mean, there's different characters in them.
Well,
Like,
I've been collecting for so long that most of that stuff is done on cards by hand, and I just discovered this excellent app that I can actually scan the barcodes that are on the comic books, and it'll bring all the detail in for me, and then I can put my ratings in. They're all mint condition.
wow.
I've actually, to be really honest, I probably the last comic book I actually bought was probably mid '90s. So most of my collection is from the '80s and '70s.
Those are vintage.
Yeah. So I was thinking, here she is. I'm thinking about
Tell her hi.
Now you made it.
Thank you. I don't know what happened there.
That's okay.
That's life. We were just talking about that. It's just life. You go with the flow.
And my logo is covering Rachel's beautiful face, so I'm going to take care of that. Hang on.
I'm with two of my favorite people. This is like the most amazing Friday ever.
How are you doing, sweetie?
I am awesome. Thank you. How
are you home? Are you back?
No, I'm visiting.
Okay.
I'm visiting. So it's I am in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm visiting and I keep telling you, Bob, that the national word is not it's sorry.
Sorry.
Oh.
I gotta tell everybody before here. Dr. Irene has recently launched a new website that her amazing son built, and also an amazing community for people to join. And let me back up a little bit. So my MS issues, right? Medication only gets me so far. And it wasn't until I met Dr. Irene and took one of her boot camps that I was able to get rid of nearly all the symptoms that medication couldn't get rid of. And in fact, I just said that I went through a relapse these last couple of weeks. It was her coaching that helped me through the relapse. So now, she's launched this amazing community that's just started recently. I mean, just like earlier this week, as well as this website that I've put in here. So I really want to tell everybody they got to follow you, connect with you.
Yes, they do.
Check out the community. There's a free version. And so Dr. Irene, Rachel and I were just talking about how, we both, Rachel more so than I, give out tons of good free advice for people on how to utilize LinkedIn, how to grow, how to become better. And you have equally just as much as ton free advice in your community now. So I really want to drive people there.
Yeah, people need to connect.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's like I felt like I gave birth to a baby this week. Our new website, our new community, all in one. And Rachel, I know you are so passionate about lifting others up and improving others' lives, and especially when it comes to mental health. And we've had so many conversations that it's the next pandemic. That pandemic is here. It's only going to get worse. And then from there, it's going to spiral down into the chronic physical conditions that come from stress. And, And that's what this is all about for me, right? It's creating that community where people can get the answers that they need, that they perhaps have not been able to get anywhere else. They can get the support, the positive support. Because Rachel,
Yes. Yes.
right? I know, right? It's like positive support, like co-mentoring. Like, this isn't just the me show. And even though I have amazing world-class faculty, it's not even just about them. It's about bringing the genius of everyone together. And yes, I'm talking about our listeners too, we all have some kind of genius that we can share and help lift others up. And that's the point of this, right? Is to give them the strategies, the tools to finally make the changes in their lives that they want to make, right? And that's why I created this whole community. And yes, to have a ton of fun too, because after almost dying, I learned the hard way that if it's not fun,
I'm not gonna do it. I'm the
doing
same like you. I'm like you. We
Yeah.
both have had near-death experiences, and I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste any day. I'm gonna do what makes me happy. It changes you forever. You're never the same person after. Most people who have had NDEs don't do drama. They don't do any of it because it's just not our thing. I mean, it really changes you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for mine. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, Bob?
No, I was just going to mention that Rachel's book talks a lot about that, and if people want to know that story, they got to pick up your book on Amazon. And I thought I was looking for it. I thought I had a link to it, but
oh, Bob, you're so sweet. Thank you.
hang on.
I
You
love
guys
your book.
chat
I love
amongst
your book,
yourselves, and I'm gonna look up your book because I have it too on my Kindle. But
I have to tell you, there's so much that happened after I wrote that too. So much, like just.
Time for book number 2.
Yes. Yeah,
Time
but
for
it was
book number 2.
Yeah, I'm working on a lot of things right now. But it is the three of us, Bob and I were talking about before, that we're just trying to get out here and spread love and kindness and positivity and to help as many people as we can. And that's what people, this platform is about giving and not taking. And that is the number one mistake people make. It really truly is the number one mistake. We all call it, you see people talk about the crab mentality, and that's the mistake people make. They take, but don't, or they, they post and they don't provide any value to their network. There's nothing there. Your network, it's a symbiotic relationship. It is a symbiotic relationship. And I always tell people, like, what are you providing to your network? What are they walking away learning from you?
Exactly. It's it reminds me that the motto of our organization, our team, and the community is Nemo Residio. And I probably pronounced that Residio, Nemo Residio, leave no one behind. And that may be like the Navy SEALs motto or whatever, but it's like an ancient term that really just means that, we're here to help everyone and raise everyone up. It's not just in war, it's in life, right?
Yes.
And that's how we are. There's a reason why I think it's the SEALs who adopted that same motto, and that is because it is it really truly is that we are all connected, and if one of us gets left behind, then really a piece of all of us is left behind.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why the three of us, we stand in the back. And people are like, well, they'll ask me all the time, what's your style of leadership? And I say, I stand in the back, pushing my network forward.
Mm-hmm.
Some leaders don't stand in the front. That's not the three of us. That's not our style. You can be a leader and stand in the back and push people forward.
That's what it means to be a servant leader, right? A servant leader is helping everyone, right? It's helping other people grow. You're worried more about the team. You're worried more about others than yourself. Right?
Yes.
I think that's really important for any leader to be able to do. And it's always amazing to me today that even in today's world, with all the knowledge that we have, about mental health and how do we provide good, safe environments in the workplace, that so many leaders step all over people to get where they need to go.
Oh, it's sad. Or I just
all the time.
Yes, or they are, I discussed in my video this morning, or the ladder was passed down to them and they forget that and they keep climbing up, and they don't pass it down to other people. And I had two people who passed down the ladder to me years ago, my two mentors on this platform, who I'm extremely close with. But they, when I was at like 500 followers or something like that, and
I can't imagine that, Rachel.
yeah,
300,000 now.
Yeah, when I started my journey, I had two people who were really like, okay, Rachel, and they just believed it. And so I'm trying to pass that forward to other people and say, hey, I love you. You're amazing. But and this is what it's about. It's about these incredible friendships. I mean, I told Bob the other day on the phone, I can't wait till we're all together going out to dinner. I just can't wait for that.
Yeah, we got to plan that for soon.
Yes,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So let's real quick. Let's talk about your community, Dr. Irene. Explain to people what it is, and I know there's a men's health community and there's a women's health community, and go ahead. I want to take your thunder there.
So this idea, I've had this idea for many, many, many years. In fact, back in 2005, I started a group called the Women's Forum, and that was like in person, and it was, we met once a month, really, and it was all like go-getter women, and in our area. And the whole premise behind it was that, and Bob, I know you can appreciate this, even though I'm talking about women, because I know you have your amazing wife, Lisa, right? It's like men have been in the game for millennia, like the game of business, the game of work. Most of us, our generation, most of us, our mothers either stayed home or had jobs, like to bring in a little second income, right? That's what was expected and acceptable. And we women of our generation were raised to believe that we could do anything. But here's the thing. Number one, our role models weren't there, right? Because in other words, our primary role model is our same-sex parent, right? So that's our very first place we learn everything, good, bad, or indifferent. And so if our mothers stayed home, then we have nothing to draw on in the world of career and success and entrepreneurship, right? So and then just and that also meant that there were hardly any women in that generation ahead of us, even who weren't our mothers, so that could mentor us. So my idea for creating the Women's Forum was to create that co-mentoring space. And my reasoning was that, okay, we may not have the role models, but within this group alone, we have hundreds of years of experience and genius that we can connect and we can support, and we can raise each other up, be the tide that raises all ships. And so that was way back in 2005 that I was already doing that. So you could say that this community has been a long time gestating and before we gave birth to it. And so that's a long-winded introduction of why I created this, because it's not just women. I recognize that we all have our special challenges in life, and so the first reason behind the community is that co-mentoring. Whether you're a man, a woman, right? It's essentially like providing everything that I would have liked as a teenager, right? Well, what could we have done, Rachel, Bob? What could we have done with our lives if we had all the answers we had now?
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated my teenage years. I hated every
Yeah.
minute. I really did.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was bullied in high school, like, and that's why I have zero tolerance for bullying. Like, I try to use my voice to end that. But yeah, if we had the knowledge,
Exactly. So
yeah,
that's why I created this, right? Was to pass down this the knowledge. There's that co-mentoring. So whether it's from me, from the faculty, and from the genius of everyone who joins our community, it's about co-mentoring each other. It's about supporting each other in a positive way, not in an. I even have in our welcome etiquette, this is not a support group, right? Because, and I'm going to say with all the love in my heart, support groups just, and I've seen it time and time again, they just keep you spiraling down, right? It's like, because it becomes like, oh yeah, well, me too. And this happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me. Well, that happened to me, right? Versus like, you know what? Just understand we're all here. We're here for the same purpose. We've all had adversity. We've all had trauma. And that's not to downplay anybody's experience. It's just understanding, okay, me too. Now what? How do I heal? How do I move forward? How do I thrive? How do I succeed? How do I have the most amazing life beyond anything I could ever ask or imagine? Right? So that's the other part of it. And then it was understanding that in the blue zones. Have you guys heard of the blue zones?
no, I was just going to ask you what that is. I've never heard of it.
The blue zones are areas. It was National Geographic did research on it many years ago. Um, there's pockets of communities, little pockets in various areas of the world where people, like an extraordinary number of people, live past the age of 100, and they live well. Like, we're not talking stuck in a nursing home, right? They are still active and thriving and working and contributing and enjoying life, right? In other words, they have that vitality. And one of the reasons I went to Crete was because it's a neighboring island, Icaria, that is one of the blue zones. I went to Costa Rica because the Nicoya Peninsula is one of the blue zones. Loma Linda in California, I could name them all. There's one in Sardinia.
When you were Belinda, is that what you said?
Loma Linda. It's a Seventh-day Adventist community.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you said another town. I was like, because I've been there.
The point is that these areas are not the richest or the wealthiest. In fact, many of them are, subpar economics, right? So it has nothing to do with that. And yet, if you look at the 9 factors that they teased out that were in common with all of these communities, the number one thing that made, like the factor that made the biggest impact on the longevity was support. Family support, friend support, community, religious support, which to me is, a lot of it's is the community within whatever religion you're in, right? In other words, it's the community, it's the social support, and it can add over a decade of life to your lifespan without changing your nutrition, your exercise, anything.
We
right?
saw it. Look what happened when people didn't have
Yeah.
support and they were isolated in the beginning of the pandemic, and the people who
Absolutely.
lived, we saw what happened. Yeah.
So because
Absolutely.
I'm a member of your community, I joined your men's health community, so I can still continue to have my bourbon, right?
Well, we're going to talk about that, Bob, because it's everything. I don't necessarily associate with anything. I'll give a fun story. It's like I was raised Anglican, which is Church of England. It's kind of like Episcopalian, but my mom's best friend, who was like my second mom, was British, from Northumberland in Britain, and so the true Church of England. And she always said, we Anglicans believe in moderation in everything, including moderation. Anyway, that's just a fun story. The point is that I knew, and Rachel and Bob, you hit the nail on the head. For the last 2 years, people have been isolated and we've seen the impact, the horrible impact that it's had, and that more than COVID, we're going to see the impact of that coming down the pipeline. It already
Long
is, and it's going to continue. So this community is an antidote to that. It's understanding that while we have, so many of us have realized that we have the opportunity and the ability to work and live anywhere in the world, it also brings with it the possibility of more isolation.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So my vision for this community and the reason behind it, the biggest reason, was to provide that social support,
Mhm.
right? So that
Crucial.
even if somebody has nobody at home, even if they don't belong to a church or a synagogue or a mosque, or even if they're not active in their communities, they can still be active within, and you can still have amazing friendships and bonds, which is what it's all about. Look at us. We have never met, and yet I truly say I love you guys.
I love you guys. Yeah. And and that's what it happens. It's so exciting when I get together with people from LinkedIn, and I get together with a lot of people live, and we go to dinner, in different states. And we literally like walk in the door. It's like we've known each other forever.
Right.
There's, it's just like, hey, what's going on? And that's why I tried, like, it's very, very real.
Yeah, I was recently in Louisville a few months ago, and went to Michael Ray's.
He's amazing.
And Bernie Fursinger, who lives in the same neighborhood, was there too with their spouses. I was there by myself because I was in Louisville in business, and it was just like, I just saw them last weekend, which was amazing because we've only been LinkedIn connections now for several years, more than a few years, and we've only communicated via LinkedIn virtually, and we got together for dinner, and it was just it was amazing.
Yeah, I've been with Michael live, and so much fun, much fun. So yeah, but it was like the same thing.
Michael, we love you.
Yeah, we definitely love you, Michael. But when we saw, because we've known each other for so long, and it was as soon as I heard that we were out in Colorado, and as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, it's Michael. And
it's very cool. Yeah, and it shows the power of connection that you can make virtually, and that's what I love about the idea behind Dr. Irene's communities, right? Because now it's so LinkedIn. We're a professional networking community, right? We're all there for either enhancing our brands. We're there to sell our product or our services. We're there to learn, to educate, but it's very professional, right?
That's what we try to teach people.
Well, yeah, exactly. And we're trying to, we're trying to help perpetuate kindness and understanding and mental health awareness within the business kind of community wise, right? Within Dr. Irene's communities and of the one that I'm a member of, the purpose there is support. The perfect purpose there is helping us to grow both emotionally and mentally, and it's a healing type of environment, which is really cool. And it just started, right? But you can, in the way that it's set up, you could just feel it, which is fantastic. I highly encourage everyone to go to successshift.institute.com, and you can get to the community from there.
Can I give you the link for the actual community page?
Sure. Well, I thought you have to enter it through the successshift.institute.com page, right?
It is there, but it's also, I just put it in the chat.
Okay.
Make sure I spelled it right. It's DrIrene.life/community.
You did.
And I wanted this, and I made this community accessible to everyone. In other words, we have a free tier. It's multi-tiered, and there is a free tier that has amazing value in it, all for free, right? In other words, because I knew we need to meet people where you're at. And if that's the space you're in, we call it the starter level. So whether it's because you just want to dip your toes in and see what it's all about, because it's like, what is this, community BS, so there's that level where we have weekly calls every Monday at noon that we're live streaming with their topics from our expert faculty. We're bringing in guest faculty, like world-class experts on all different topics. Like, so when we talk healing, when we use words like this, or even success, it's like people get confused. And it's like, it's 360-degree success. In other words, what's a 10 out of 10 look like for you in your career? And by that, I mean contribution. Like, how are you contributing to the world? What does a 10 out of 10 look for you like in your wealth? What is a 10 out of 10 for you in your health and energy, your relationships, your personal life? And if you are at a 10 out of 10 in your career and you're at a 5 out of 10 in your health and energy or lower, guess what? It's dragging you down, right? In other words, you're going to crash and burn because you've made great strides in one area while sacrificing the other areas, or you have your relationships are on the rocks or whatever it is. So that's the starter level, and we're constantly throwing in added value, because Bob and Rachel, me, it's just like I can't stop myself. I'm just like constantly like okay, here, let's do more, and let's add more, right? In other words, so you get the benefit of the community, you get the knowledge, and then we have the foundations level. That's for somebody who is, they want to commit a bit more, they're able to commit a bit more time, energy, and financial investment, and that's $47 a month or $470 a year. We like to reward people for their commitment. And again, we just add in like so much value. I don't have like all the lists with me. And at the same time, there's like, we have a whole library of videos and trainings that are yours, that we're dripping in so you don't get overwhelmed, on all different topics. So there's that. And then you get mini challenges and mini courses. In other words, bite-sized. In other words, if you're overwhelmed and all you can do is like put one foot in front of the other, like we have, starting on Monday, we have the 14-day shift into success mode jumpstart. That's live with me, right? That's starting on Monday, the 8th. So, for people who are in the community, they get access to that as soon as they're at the foundations level or higher. On the 22nd, we have a 5-day anxiety relief experience that Kate Vasquez, who's our women's anxiety expert, and I are leading. And then after that, I think on the 29th, Dr. Dan Carlicchio and I are co-leading a 10-day whole food detox. Right. So in other words, to help detox. And when I talk detox, it's not just food detox. It's like brain detox, right? Environment detox, right? So all of that is included. So we have like all these amazing mini courses that you can take at the foundations level. And then at the accelerator level is for someone who is they want to fast track their success. Remember the 360 success. They want it. They want it all. They're just like, I'm committed. I'm in. Give it to me, right? And there, it's like where you get access to our faculty and live access and hot seat sessions with me on retrain your brain and what's a particular challenge you have. Okay, so let's work through that right here, right now with you. And we have, so there's so much more at the accelerator level. Go check out the page and you'll see. And then the final tier is our mastermind. It's by application only. And because and we keep the numbers like really, really small. That's really about helping other high achievers, go-getters who are leaders, right? We want to help the leaders be better leaders, as you said, right? So whether they're entrepreneurs, C-suite, it's like, let's help you up level, like transform every area of your life, including your financial success, your bottom line. Within that year, you're going to walk out of there a different person, a better
That's
person,
amazing. Yeah,
all
that's
around. So that's by application only. So, and that's coming, more will come on that. So the 3 tiers for now are the free starter level, the foundation level, and the accelerator level.
That's
So-
awesome. And I've actually, so you and I have known each other for the better part of a year now. Maybe
I
a
know,
little.
it seems like forever.
Isn't that awesome?
And then you introduced me to Rachel, and I got to meet Rachel.
Yeah.
Love you,
Yeah,
Rachel.
I've personally learned so much, and I can truly say, without hesitation, that it's, your coaching's changed my life. I mean, Rachel, you've changed my life too. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
Right.
It's mutual to all of us, It's,
right. So, and that shows you the power of making connections. And so again, I always say one connection can change a life, and actually I've got 2 connections here that have changed my life, and for the better. And I want to encourage all my viewers and your viewers, Rach, check out Dr. Irene Cop, connect, follow, engage with her. Check out Rachel, connect, follow, engage with her, because these 2 young women are going to change your life. Truly, truly, truly.
Thank you. You know what, Bob? You changed lives. I get on your post. I read the comments that people, I read every comment that's on your post, and I see what you do for people. You inspire people.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I actually got ripped by someone. I'm not going to say who. I got a DM from someone. Well, a quote unquote LinkedIn coach who said, "Hey, I looked at your profile. You're in technology. How come you never talk about technology?" And I said, "Well, that's not what I do. My gig on LinkedIn is to help connect people, is to help raise others up, to talk about servant leadership. I don't need to talk about technology, right?" And they kind of blasted me, saying, "Well, that shouldn't be your brand. You're a CIO. Your brand should be about, you should be talking about being a C." And I think it was their way of trying to sell me on their LinkedIn coaching by telling me that I was doing it wrong.
That's not okay. That's just not okay.
Well, that's the wrong way to sell your coaching services. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely, because everything you do on LinkedIn is amazing.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
I had somebody just do that recently, where it's like they sent me a screenshot of a recent post and said, "Really? This is how much you charge for your coaching?" I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, and that, it's important. We can teach people our value and our worth,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that, and we should not have to devalue ourselves. Everybody wants things, but if they're willing to pay for it, they should be willing to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
No, but listen, no one on this platform is either working for free.
Right.
No one on this platform isn't trying to get more business to come their way. But since we, all 3 of us, provide a tremendous amount of value, we provide a tremendous amount of opportunities for people. Yeah. And listen, I know that comment, Dr. Irene, I know that. And I'm like, you know what? This is my value and this is my worth.
Well, and more importantly, I didn't take offense to it really, because I was like, it made me stop and think and go, yeah, that is the value. And it's also why I created this community.
Yeah.
In fact, I have people reach out to me, people have reached out to me this week asking for one-to-one coaching. And I have to say, I'm not taking any one-to-one clients right now, because I would rather, instead of, and because, yes, I've had clients pay my rates. That to me is not the point of it. This community is the important part. It's like, if I can, why work one-on-one with somebody if I can work with 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 1,000 people all at once and provide massive value and change all of their lives. That is why I focus on, you know, our community and our programs, because it's not just about the money to me, right?
It's way more than that for you. It's way more.
This is my baby. Whoops, I better be careful that I'm not like banging you guys. Like, this is my baby, right? This is my raison d'etre, my big ikigai, right? It's like when I almost died in that car accident, it was like I vowed to myself that if I could help even one person, one family avoid the suffering my family and I did, then I would be successful. And of course, I'm not going to just stop at one family. I've done that many, many times over, right? For me, it's I'm on a mission to transform the world, and I can't do that seeing people one-to-one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And at the same time, I'm grateful to that person, because there was a time when I didn't believe I was worth, frankly, anything. My self-value was like dirt, because that's how I was raised, is that I was worse than dirt.
Well, let me just say this to you. You are a beautiful woman. You're an intelligent woman. You're a highly accomplished woman. You're a powerful woman. And own that, you know, and just own that and stand in that, and don't let anybody else take it away from you.
She does. She's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just remember how special you are. I want to thank you guys today for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here.
For jumping on.
Thanks for joining me at the last minute, so we can, I can get back onto LinkedIn and start engaging more. I appreciate you guys so much. Love you guys very much.
Grateful for you. Love you too.
So,
let me know if you're doing the replay, and I will jump on.
I'm sorry, say again?
Let me know if you're doing a replay, and I'll jump on.
Oh, I am. Absolutely. So after we're done here, give me about a 10, 15, 20 minutes. I got to, I'm baby.
A lot of things. We do a lot of things behind the
scenes. Yeah. Take care of a couple of things. But yeah, I'm going to definitely bump this up, because I think both of you guys have important messages that people need to hear. People need to follow both of you. They need to engage with you. They need to connect with you, because you two are both connections that have changed my life. Thank you so much for doing this again. I appreciate you. Everybody go check out the Dr. Irene's community, and you won't be disappointed. And check out Rachel's book. I'll post the link in the comments below, so that you guys can start reading and healing.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
I appreciate you both. Have a wonderful